All right, today we're jumping in our time machine and heading way back to ancient Greece. Why? Because we're going to unpack a piece of wisdom that is so powerful, so fundamental, it's been challenging thinkers for literally thousands of years. Let's dive in.
Just 2 words. That's it. But these weren't just any 2 words. Imagine seeing them carved right into the entrance of the legendary Temple of Apollo at Delphi. Yeah, this was not some friendly suggestion. It was a command, a really profound challenge that has echoed down through the ages, and you better believe it, it stopped people right in their tracks.
So you got to understand, the ancient Greeks, they didn't see this as just, a nice little piece of advice. Not at all. For them, know thyself was the starting point. It was square one for all true wisdom. The idea was simple, but huge. You had to look inward first, before you could even hope to understand the world out there.
Okay, but let's be real. It's so easy to hear a phrase like that, right? Know thyself. And you just kind of nod along. Yep, sounds good. But what does it actually mean to start that journey? What's the first step? Well, the Greeks, they had a surprisingly clear path in mind.
First things first, they believed the journey had to be an inward one. Now, think about the time. This was an age of adventure. People were exploring new lands, charting the stars, pushing the boundaries of the known world. But the Greeks? They argued that the greatest discoveries, the real treasures, weren't out there somewhere. Nope, they were right here, inside each and every one of us, inside the human mind and soul.
And the sheer scale of their thinking on this, it's just incredible. The Greeks literally saw the self as a microcosm. What's that? It's like a mini-universe, a small-scale model of the whole cosmos. Their logic was actually pretty straightforward. If you could truly, deeply understand the rules and principles that govern your own inner world, then, and this is the amazing part, you could unlock the secrets of the entire universe itself. Wow.
So to help guide this massive internal exploration, their greatest thinkers broke down the self into 3 core components. You can think of them like the fundamental pillars of a building. You'd need to investigate each one if you wanted to build a complete, solid understanding of who you really are.
All right, pillar number 1 is truth. And listen, this is way more than just being honest. We're talking about a radical, completely unfiltered understanding of your own nature. It means stripping away all the labels we wear every day. Your job title, your role in your family, what people think of you, and asking that terrifying, thrilling question. Beneath all that, who am I really? It's about confronting the raw reality of your existence, not just the part you play for the world.
Now, to dig down to that core truth, you need the right tool for the job. And for the Greeks, that essential tool was the second pillar, reason. Think of it like a sharp blade. They believed that the logical, clear-thinking part of your mind was the only thing sharp enough to cut through all the fog. The fog of emotion, of ego, of all the illusions we tell ourselves, to finally get to that solid core truth.
And all of that work, it brings us to the final pillar, which is really the ultimate goal of this whole journey, purpose. The Greeks were convinced that discovering your unique function in the world, your personal why, was the absolute peak of self-knowledge. This was the key. This was how you lived what they called a flourishing, truly meaningful life.
Okay, so they had the destination all mapped out, understanding your truth, using your reason to find your purpose. But how do they actually travel that road? How did they get there? Well, the Greeks basically developed 2 major and pretty different paths to explore these huge questions. On one path, you had religion. This approach explored the self through powerful stories, ancient rituals, and humanity's relationship with the divine. We're talking about studying the myths of the gods to see our own flaws reflected back at us, or making a pilgrimage to an oracle to ask that big question, what is my destiny? It was all about finding your specific place in a cosmos ordered by the gods. Then, on the other path, you had philosophy. This was totally different. It was all about pure logic, rational debate, systematic inquiry. This is your classic image of Socrates in the bustling marketplace, just relentlessly questioning everyone about justice and virtue, trying to get to the truth just by using argument and reason.
But here's what's so cool, what's so beautiful about this. Whether you were a priest trying to interpret a dream from the gods or a philosopher arguing in the town square, you were actually on the exact same quest. They were like 2 sides of the same coin. The methods couldn't have been more different, but the destination, that was identical, a deeper, more profound understanding of the self.
So, that brings us to the big question. Why are we talking about this now, in 2026? Why does this ancient framework still hit so hard today? Simple. It's because the fundamental questions, they haven't changed one bit. And the blueprint the Greeks left for us, it is just as relevant, just as powerful as it ever was.
So let's just recap this incredible blueprint the Greeks gave us. Step 1, you start by taking that command seriously. Know thyself. Step 2, you have to turn your focus inward, tune out all the external noise. Step 3, you courageously investigate your own personal truth. Step 4, you use clear-headed reason as your map and your compass. And the whole point of all this, the final destination, is to discover your ultimate, unique purpose.
Look, this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. It's a living, breathing challenge. The quest to know who you are is just as vital today as it was for someone standing at the foot of the Temple of Apollo thousands of years ago. The journey is absolutely timeless, and it's yours for the taking. So really, there's only one question left, and it's aimed directly at you. How will you know thyself?